trust you fully. I don't wanna go. Teach me how to live in your peace. I'm learning how to trust you fully. I don't wanna go back to the rhythm I was in. Teach me to live in your presence once again. I got caught up in trying to do the right thing, but now I know that you are all that I need. I need your presence everywhere I go. When I'm with you, I never feel alone. Nothing compares to time with you. You are the one that makes me new. Father is calling me to more. Standing and knocking at my door. I never even knew what your love was worth, 'cause you were always there when I needed you. Feeling like I'm lost in the darkest place, 'cause you were always there, told me grace. Take me to greener pastures, still leaving me in wonder. And now that I know my Father's voice, everything I ever have a choice. Lead me into the Father's peace. You are the greatest thing, the truth, the light, the holy King. You are the greatest thing, the truth, the light, the holy King. Oh, 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 the holy King. I never even knew what your love was worth, 'cause you were always there when I'm feeling hurt. When I'm really lost in the darkest place, you were always there to show me grace. Take me to greener pastures, still leaving me in wonder. Now that I know my Father's voice, in everything I have a choice. Lead me into our Father's place. You are the greatest thing. Oh.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome. We are going to sing a worship song real quick that one of the kids wrote that we sang a bunch in Wyoming. So we're going to sing that, and then we'll get started with some videos and stuff. It's going to be sweet. If you know it, you can sing along.
touching the darkness, healing the hardness of my heart. Show me how to be more like you. Guide me. How do I live my life for you? Oh, oh, I write you this song with all that I am. Who am I to call you my best friend? Beaten, spit on, and tortured, all for me.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. So good. I'll have my count on up. If you didn't know, Alana wrote that song last year for Wyoming. And a lot of the kids remembered, and they quite literally requested it like every night that we were there. Like, well, let's play Alana's song. So Alana had a huge impact on the trip, even though she wasn't even there, because we were singing her song like every night and throughout the day. So that's the first part.
And that's kind of the story of the trip. So it was just God showing up in a whole lot of different ways that we didn't expect. For us, it was, well, I'm Mike. If you haven't met me, hey, I'm Mike. Hello. Okay. I just got the joy to be a part of Riley's team. So I just tried to put everything together so we could make it there and make it back. And here we are. So, yes. So it was a lot of fun. This year was probably the hardest one I've ever done. We went the last 3 years. I've done a bunch of mission trips before that. And this one was just difficult it seemed like from January it started being difficult. Getting tickets, the whole deal. It was just hard this year. And it felt like there was a lot of things against us. And there's a lot of ways to get out of it. And we were like, yeah, maybe we just shouldn't go. And Kirk's like, are you crazy? We're going. So, I learned a lot about how to trust God and that he will provide. But I want you to see our leaders real quick. If you guys can stand up, our leaders. So a couple of them we meet there. Some girls that are over there, Sierra and Ashley, we met. But here, are these all of our leaders? I can't see. These lights are so bright. So we got Abby. Awesome, amazing. If you haven't met her, go meet her. Quincy, she kind of put everything together to tell me what I was supposed to do. So that was awesome. So if we were lost, it was her fault. No. That was my fault, actually, way my fault, and we'll talk about that maybe. Then Nate and Kirsten, they were amazing. They had a baby this year, so we brought a baby, which was so fun. Our youngest youth member. And then we got Ethan here. This was your first time leading, right?
No, I did the first year.
You did first year. Okay. Yeah. You didn't do last year. That's why I was sad. Okay. Got it. And then Sam is back there. Sam came with us as well. Riley, obviously, he's our youth pastor. If there's any issue, youth pastor Riley. Okay. Yes. And then other Riley in the back, which is Riley McCook. If you don't know him, go meet him. He's so much fun. Isaac, he's our video camera everything man. And he takes all the youngest, like the middle school kids, like the youngest ones, and he just is so amazing with them. So that's the guy. And then we got Isaiah, who was dead half the trip, but he's alive now. So there we go. Who else am I missing? Ciara. Where's Ciara? Ciara's right here. She put all the food together, and then Melissa made it all happen. So Ciara had to fill in for a lot of things, and then Melissa just hopped in there for everything. It was amazing. So we could not have done it without Melissa. So has everybody seen you? Can you stand up just so everybody can see you? Yeah. Woo! Am I missing anybody? So Sierra Peisner met us there. Hello, if you're watching. And she's come every year, and the girls love her. The guys like her too. It's just she hangs out more with the girls. Long story. Not really. And then Ashley Dixon, if you don't know her, she meets us down from Idaho, and she is such a treat to have as well. So is that it? Am I missing anybody else? No. Okay, good. I might have left them in Wyoming. I don't know. So we've been talking for months about going on this trip and what it's going to look like, and we did 2 before, and we're like, oh yeah, we can run camps. It's easy. It's like this, and this. And from January, God was like, nope, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're like, oh, this is getting hard. Okay. And it just felt like there was so many doors closing. We're like, are we even supposed to go? Like, should we do a trip here on Maui instead? Should we just do like a retreat? And then, so we were talking with Sasha and Kirk, and they just said, no, I feel like we should go. It's like, okay, so we trust you. And things did not get easier. They just kept getting harder all the way to when we got at the airport, one guy did not have a plane ticket, which I'm not going to tell you who. If you guess, you win. But anyways, they all came. We figured out how to get him on the plane, but I had an hour to get him a ticket and get on the plane, talking on the phone through TSA. Hey, can you hold on? Okay, take my shoes off, walk through, pick up my phone on the other side. That was just the beginning. So it was all those kind of things. Nothing like crazy, but all these like little reasons that we shouldn't go. And we were like, oh, God must be doing something awesome. So I want to read this to you because this is how Kirk was encouraging me through the whole, I guess a couple weeks before I called you, and I was struggling. He just got back, and he was struggling. And but we both found rest in this, and this is Psalm 23. It says, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures, and he leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. It doesn't say anything about it's going to be easy. It doesn't say anything about if God's taking you somewhere, then it's just all going to be roses. He says, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death with you, I will be with you. And that's what I felt like. I'm like, wait, I'm walking into the valley and I'm taking all these kids with me? Your kids? Yeah, okay, we'll figure this out. And he was just so faithful and never stopped being faithful. So tonight you're going to see some videos of what we did, what the camp looks like. You're going to hear a lot of testimonies from the kids. And just, I want you guys to know that God is the same God that created the world, the same God that split the Red Sea, the same God that sent Jesus for us, the same God that told Peter to go walk on the water. That same God is the God that was doing miracles for us on this trip. And it never stopped. So I'll tell you my short little testimony of that after all of this, but let's do the video.
Meeting we had, you're showing off your phone. It was the same exact case my teacher had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Look up at the sky to find you, to see you. What if I'm not good enough? But you said I would, so I just close my eyes, raise your
Welcome to the Rotten Staff Ranch. Our purpose here is to introduce people to the Good Shepherd. For those who don't know the Good Shepherd, we want them to open their eyes, open their ears, soften their hearts to receive Him, know Him, follow Him. For those who do know the Good Shepherd, we want this to be a place where you can be strengthened and encouraged and go out and strengthen and encourage others just like the early church did.
Living your peace, learning how to trust you fully. I don't wanna go back to the rhythm I was in. Teach me to live in your presence once again. I got caught up in trying to do the right thing, but now I know that you are all that I need. And your presence everywhere I go. With you, I never feel alone. Nothing compares this time with you. You are the one that makes me new. Father is calling me to more. Standing and knocking at the door. I never even knew what your love was worth. 'Cause you were always there when I needed you. Feeling like I'm lost in the darkest place. 'Cause you were always there, told me, hey, take me to greener pastures. Still leaving me in.
So I'll just give you a little breakdown of how it all happened. So we got on the plane, we got there finally, and then we drove all the way up to Wyoming. Kirk had some buddies who picked us up in a van, or two vans. One of the guys had a heart attack the day before. So you're just going to keep seeing all of these things over and over and over. So one of us had to go down and get one of the vans. The guy came and picked me up, and I went down to get the van, and blah, blah, blah. So we drove all the way up to the ranch. And when we got to the ranch, things were awesome, and everything was mellow, and it was perfect. And so a typical day looks like we'd wake up in the morning, which is a good way to start. And then the boys would have the kitchen duty, and the girls would start feeding the bison. So there's 4 teams, and one of the groups of boys would kitchen and then feed the bison. We'd have breakfast, hang out. You probably saw the volleyball. We played a lot of volleyball. So if you play on Sundays, we're coming to dominate. Just don't worry about it. And then we'd have a short time of worship or a long time of worship. And it started off with, we're just going to bring this book of songs. And then everybody started writing songs. So every song that you heard up there, except one that they played at church, was written by one of these youth members. So, and, you know, I've heard over the years, it's like, oh, yeah, the new Christian songs, they're just, like, not that deep, you know? It's like, these things are like hymns. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm getting, like, punched in the throat by, you know, about, just truth over and over and over. Okay. So worship songs in the morning, and then we teach, and we had this plan that we were going to teach through what it means to follow God after you kind of move out of your parents' house and you're on your own. Like, how do you find your own faith? Like, I guess when we talk about Jesus, he says, build your house on the rock. And we're like, well, how do we find that rock? What rock do we build it on? So we had a lot of conversations about who Jesus is and who God is and what that means in our lives. And we don't want our students just to leave with a bunch of Bible stories. We want them to know the God that we know. So we talked about that for a little bit, and then we'd send them away for like 45 minutes, and they would just have quiet time. So you'd see them littered all over the property, just spending time with Jesus. And it might be up on the hill, it might be under the deck, it might be behind the cabin. Just anywhere. You like turn around the corner, you're like, oh, okay, there's somebody, but you like couldn't get away from them. So there's that, and then they'd come back into their small groups, and they'd spend about an hour with their small groups talking about what God was teaching them or asking questions. We had so many amazing questions that we're like, I don't know. Let's talk to Kirk when he gets here. Just talking with your students about Jesus and what he's doing in their lives. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm supposed to be helping lead this thing, and I'm just being inspired. I'm like, man, I want to be like you. I want to look at God how you look at God. I want to see what you see in Jesus. Like, I want to see that, because everybody has a little different perspective. So we did that. We'd have lunch, and then Kirk graciously let us do a lot of work projects. And it was super fun. And I don't know, people say that the upcoming generation doesn't work. They haven't met these kids, because insane amount of work. So we're doing work projects, and then we come and play games, and Pat graciously showed up and helped Ben build showers for the guys this year, so they weren't freezing. It was like, it was so good. And we needed it, because we worked so hard and we smelled so bad. So we'd take showers, which I wanted to add in. Parents, we took showers, and then we'd have dinner, and then we'd set up a campfire, or we'd go back into the garage, and there'd be worship at night, and then one of the leaders would share their testimonies, which is always so impactful. So, that's the nights when people are crying and like, I'm the same as you. Like, oh, you dealt with this, I'm dealing with this, and where the leaders can really connect with the kids, and the kids can connect with the leaders. So those were nights over nights over nights over nights, and they were awesome. And then we did one time, Kirk said, hey, what do you think about hiking that mountain? We're like, okay. So we start going, we're like, oh, that's not that high, we can go over there. It's like a mile to the mountain, and then it's about, not huge, but it's like 0.6 miles straight up the mountain. It's not like a hill, it's like straight up. So, and then Kirk was just sharing about sometimes there's hard things in life, and sometimes you just have to go over them, and you have to go through them, and some people aren't going to be able to do it by themselves. You need to wait with them and encourage them and build them up, and that's what it is to follow Jesus. It's not something that you're all alone on. It's that we here as a community get to build each other up to do this. So thank you for sending the students, because you are a huge part of getting them up that mountain. We couldn't have done it without everybody in this room. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your money. Thank you for, just sending us out and letting us take your students if you're a parent. It was amazing. I want to invite some of the students up here to share. You know who you are. And just so it's not weird, I'll start with my story. Oh, sorry. The other thing that's amazing is these. If you want one of these, you guys can all come up here now. It's way easier. So every year we read a book to kind of get us all on the same page. And this year we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we just did a devotional that the leaders wrote? So this is through Psalm 119. And the leaders and Kirk and Sasha and Lloyd, Abby wrote one here. So they just each took a section of Psalm 119 and then has a little devotional for it. So we all went through this together and just prepared us to talk about who is this God that the guy who writes Psalm 119 knows, because he is so excited about the word. And we just wanted to be like that. So if you want one of these, I got a couple. If not, we can print more. But they're awesome. Also, tons of typos. My fault. Yeah, I'll start with mine, and then we'll go with Jude. So you're right there. Okay. Why don't you come here? You can come and stand with me. You can all come and stand with me. Yeah. So by all I meant two. Okay. So I had a really, really hard Friday. We got vans. We're like, we're going to go to all these places. And I don't know if you heard, but there was a sickness that went around that took people down for like 3 days. Like you wouldn't see them. And they were dehydrated, and we're bringing food into their bunks and the whole deal. It was crazy. So Friday morning I wake up, I feel a little weird. And then as I'm driving around all day, I'm like, I do not feel good. And then I'm thinking, we're leaving tomorrow. There was a lot of logistics that need to go on. And I'm going down. And then Ashley was like, hey, I don't feel good either. I'm like, Ashley, you can't bail out on me. Like, we need to make this happen. So we're praying. These guys all hiked up Vita Vu, these awesome rock. You didn't put the rocks in there, did you? Did we see Vita Vu in there? A little bit. Okay. So they're all hiking up these rocks, and I'm just like passed out in the parking lot. I'm like, it's okay, I'll make it. So I was just praying and like, God, I need a miracle, because I don't know. Like, if I go down like Ethan went down, we're in big trouble. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And like, I don't know if I got a less sickness or what. I don't know what God did or prepared in my body, but I felt like death on Friday. I went to bed and I woke up and I was like, Lord, please, like, I need you to do a miracle in my life. And I woke up and I was like, boom, let's go. And I was like, man, God even answers the little prayers. And he doesn't, necessarily think like, healing is only like if they're dead, I'm going to raise them from the dead. Like, he cared about the little things in my life. And I was like, man, God, you are so, so good. And that was the story of all the things that he always showed up. And that was just the last one for me. So, Jude, do you want that or you want this?
I guess I'll take this.
So, what did God teach you?
What did God teach me? I would say overall, even before and afterwards, I'd say the Lord was really kind of showing me how to please him, and that's through faith. And I feel like the Lord was basically through the trip just having confirmation throughout all of it, just showing me that I think the Lord is prominent in my life now, and I just want to follow him and go where he leads me. And so, yeah, whatever that is, whether it's I'm in my valleys or on my mountaintops, like, I know the Lord's there with me. And plus, he's gifted me with so many friends and family to be a part of that as well. A bonus was having two specific friends, Eli and Hezekiah, to be there, and we hadn't hung out for a while. And so it was good to reconnect with them and kind of like in a Christ-like way grow our friendship again. And I think, it kind of overall just Jesus was center of everything, and I could tell for sure. So, yeah.
Awesome. Did you want to share a verse?
I did have a verse that I wanted to share. I memorized it. Mesmerized it. It's James chapter 4, verse 8, and it's draw near to God and he'll draw near to you. And I think that was kind of a main thing that I just looked that verse up today, but I think the whole trip that was in my soul, I could just tell that, like, I needed to draw near to God. And even before the trip, like I was saying, I just feel like the whole time it was confirmation that the Lord has been forefront and that his love has been pouring into me, and I just want to pour that into others. So, yeah.
you?
So he probably taught me two main things.
Probably.
He definitely
Okay,
taught me two main things. And the first one is just to be kind to people, because not only does it benefit you, but it benefits him. And when you do it thinking of like, not, if I do this, then these people are going to like me, and then maybe I'll do it so God will be happy. And changing that outlook kind of like makes you act differently and act better. And that's been something that's been cool to do. And then the second thing has been, the more you read his word, the more conversations you can have with like people. So my small group was really good. And I realized like, now that I have all this information, I can actually like talk about it and use it and apply it. And it makes it feel more useful. So yeah, that's what I learned.
What was one of those things that you read that you guys talk about?
Oh, reading in my small group, there's something about, we were talking about like Adam and Eve and stuff, and there's something I'd read. Or no, it was about like a man being alone and if it's good or not, and there was something I just read. And it was talking about how sometimes God doesn't have a marriage plan for you, and that's all right. And it was cool.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it? Okay. Thanks, man. What did God teach you?
Okay. Hi, I'm the other Jude. Can you guys hear me? Does it work? Cool. What did God teach me? So Mike taught on this like almost analogy about a cave, and how like God comes in, or Jesus comes in, he shines the light in the cave, but then there's still like cracks, and there's still like darker places that like Jesus, he's like, oh, what's this? So this trip, he was really just showing me like, I have these like crevices and these cracks in my cave, and Jesus has come in, he's shined the light, but there's still spots where the darkness is, and he's like working on like pointing that out and being like, that's there. He didn't like radically change anything this trip. It was more so like, that's there. We know that's there. We're gonna work on that. It was like, we're gonna shine the light there. We're gonna change that. So I had a verse. I didn't memorize it like Jude, but and it's 1 John 5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. A very simple, short verse, but very meaningful. And I think it really just goes over that like whole concept that Jesus comes in and he shines the light, and the darkness can't overcome. Like Jesus went. That's the end. Yeah, that was what he was teaching me.
I like how he ended that. Jesus wins. That's just how it goes. What did God teach you?
God taught me how to, fellowship with other people better. Because if you don't know me, I'm not really the most outgoing person, if I haven't talked to you before.
You're up on the stage.
Well, yeah, I'm conquering my fears right now, Mike.
Oh, no.
Why that picture, Isaac?
I was wondering who that was, but that is...
Yeah, so most of these people before, like the youth, I've kind of just thought of them as friends, and stuff. But over the trip, they've kind of grown to be more like brothers and sisters to me. Just gotten to talk with them more, know more about them. I love hearing like their opinion on the Bible stuff, Bible verses, not stuff. Like it's really cool to see like how people think about the Bible. Cause some will be like, oh, this is like not really touching me too much, and others will say this is like a deep meaning verse to me. And, like it's just good to talk with people, especially about the Bible.
What's one of those things that stuck out to you? A conversation or
I had a lot. It's hard to remember.
just one?
Just one.
Somebody you met
Isaiah was my favorite.
Sorry.
The guy who was like dead most of the time.
He's my small group leader. It's a, and Sam.
If you want to talk to Nate, go grab him. He will talk. He just doesn't want to talk up here.
God was teaching me during this camp that, like, he was showing me how stagnant my relationship was with him. So, like, I ended last year's camp. I had, like, the whole spiritual high and, like, everything. And I'm like, I'm going to, like, read his word every day and stay with him. And I just, like, kept on just reading less and less and less. And it got to the point, like, where it came around right before camp, I was just, like, not spending time with him. And I was just, like, going through the motions, just going to church and everything, going to youth group, but not really, like, enjoying it. And I realized it was because I wasn't really spending time with him on my own, and I wasn't, like, making that effort. And this camp just, like, it kind of, like, reawakened that, and it just helped, like, me realize that, like, how much I enjoy spending time with him, like, and in his word. That's it.
What did God teach you?
Okay. So this year, I feel like. Sorry. Oh, so dizzy. This year, I feel like God was showing me kind of the importance of, like, seeking Him first. Like, because there's, like, I was thinking about it, like, there's so many different ways my life could go, so many different, like, decisions I gotta make when I grow older and stuff. But, like, I just wanna, like, he was just showing me, like, how important it is to, like, bring everything to Him, and then He would kind of show me the way He wants me to live, and, like, I have this visual of, like, a path, and the path just keeps branching off and then off and off, like, a billion times, and there's, like, this one road that's just highlighted, and that's the one that God wants me on. So it's kind of like my prayer this year, that I'd stay on His path and not stray off. And yeah.
So how are you going to do that? How are you going to stay on the path? Did you get any great manifestations? No. How are you going to stay on that path? You can't just hope, right?
No. I'm just gonna, like, whenever there's something I'm not sure of, I'm just gonna bring it before Him, like, 100%. And just, like, ask Him if that's what He wants. Yeah.
That's cool. Best place to go. Hold on. Oh, and come on. You're next. Here. You're standing up. Yeah. Oh, surprise. Come.
Hi, my name is Norma Jane. Something that God showed me in Wyoming is what it truly means to follow God, and what it is and what it's not. And it's not putting your faith in the things of this world or even the people in your life that reflect God, but it's putting all your faith and trust in God. And something that God really showed me is that I was putting too much faith in the godly people around me. And when they failed, it hurt me because I put too much faith in them instead of God. And I was trying to please people around me in my own strength, and that's not truly following God. And He really showed me what I needed to change, and it was a treat to get to meet. It was a treat to get to meet Pastor Gary, Pastor Kirk's pastor, and Something he said that I really liked was, as long as you are serving people with a heart to please them, you will get hurt and they will fail you. But when you serve with a heart that's reflecting God's character, you'll only see that hurt as room to love as Christ loves. And as a whole, with everything that I learned, what that means to me is, as long as you put your faith in anything other than God and you serve to please others and bring glory to yourself, then yes, you will hurt others and they will hurt you. And your heart will become a heart of stone. But when you give God all of your heart and you put all of your faith in Him and truly seek after Him, He will soften your heart so that you can share His love. And something that Ciara shared in her testimony was when God replaced her heart of stone with a heart of flesh. And when that happened, she said, when you have a heart of flesh, it's easier for God to heal you. And that doesn't mean you're immune to grief or hurt, but God will renew your soul. And when you're open to Him, and really a heart of flesh is easier to wound than a heart of stone, but God will heal you and renew you if you open your heart to Him and truly follow Him. And I think that's what happened to me in Wyoming. I had to let go of a lot of things, and God renewed my heart, and He showed me what I was doing wrong so that I can truly follow Him and with all of my heart and truly give all of my trust and faith and put it in Him. And I want to thank Pastor Kirk and Kim for opening your home and your ranch to us and letting us stay there, and all of the leaders for being open with us and sharing your testimony and even the hard stuff. It really helped all of us. And thank you to Auntie C and Auntie Melissa for cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like all of those days. You guys work so hard, all of you, and I really appreciate it.
Something I think God was showing me was our time alone with Him is super important, because He has so much to say and you just gotta listen. And if you're not listening, you're gonna stray off. And there's gonna be things that He's gonna tell you to do that you don't necessarily want to do. And you just gotta do it because He does everything for the good. And He's not going to put too much on your shoulders that He knows you can't handle. He's going to put the perfect amount, and you just got to do it.
You got a story about that you want to share?
So before the trip, I was planning on coming to Wyoming, and then I realized my family was going to do something really, really fun. They're going to Nevada, and they're going to do a lot of things there. And I really wanted to go, so I was going to go. And then I just realized I heard a voice in the back of my head telling me that I had to go to Wyoming. And I didn't want to listen to it, so I kept trying to avoid it. And then it just got louder and louder, and then I had to listen to it. So I did, and I'm glad I listened to it because I learned a lot more about Him in Wyoming.
All right, Gavin's our last one.
God taught me two things this trip. The first one was just kind of to trust Him with the desires of my heart, and it's just more not the fleshly desires, but just the desires and what path I want to go. Because for a while now, I've had a desire for a path in my life that pursuit of that path has been leading me away from God. So I've been really praying for pretty much since I became a Christian, in November, for Him to take that desire from my heart, and just the desire kind of keeps getting stronger. So I had a night at camp where I really pleaded for Him to like take that desire from my heart. And like I kind of thought it was gone. Then I woke up in the morning and it was like still there. So I like kind of prayed and like kind of just like gave up the like trying to give up the pursuit of that path and just like because I kind of like put it in his hands to do whatever he wanted to do with that path before, but like this time I kind of put it in his hand to change the desires of my heart and just like if he wanted me to keep having this desire, like keep this desire in my heart, and if not, please take it out. And then it kind of just like brought me to peace with like just trusting in his plan for me. And then another thing he taught me is every time I kind of like relapse on the sin of the day, I get like this lie in my heart that like you haven't changed at all since you became a Christian, like you're still the same kid that you were. So if you haven't been to camp before, me and some of the guys wrestle and like fight every time. And in the past years, I've kind of like, I don't know, this was the first year as a Christian, so before I just kind of take out my anger on these kids and just like, you know. But this year, I did a fight and it's kind of, I couldn't like find it in my heart to get the same mindset of like trying to like hurt this kid. So it's kind of like reassuring to realize that like I have changed. Like I'm not like as angry and like hateful at the world anymore. And it's just, that's reassuring.
I think we all learned that, the same thing, that we have these things that are deep inside of us that we don't know about, and God was continually bringing those up on this trip. And, I mean, I didn't wrestle kids, so, but, yeah, it's been a joy the last couple months watching you grow and who God is. And, I mean, I don't know. We were talking last year with you about, hey, what does it mean to follow Jesus? And you're like, I don't want to. And then here we are standing here talking about how God's changing your life. So that's my second miracle. So thanks, man. We're going to show, there's a couple testimonies from students who weren't able to be here. So there's videos of that.
Hi, I'm Rainbow.
Hello, I'm Future.
I am Ulti.
Hi, it's Daniel.
This is the
Hi everybody, it's me, Aroma, and we're my family, and we're living in Rodstaff Ranch in Wyoming, Laramie, and we're here, and these 10 days were really blessing to me. It was so unforgettable, and so many kids came here, and it was so fun. We played volleyball and card games, and God, they really teach me a lesson about God. Really give us a life, and we get the chance to meet each other, and it was so fun. And my lesson was that God has always planned for your life, and I really liked hearing Sam's testimony and all of their testimonies, and it was so fun that they helped me even write my own first song. And my friend Miss JL, she helped me make bracelets, like friendship bracelets, and I hopefully we will see you in Hawaii. If God's will, we'll see you in Hawaii, and I miss you. Bye.
Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be there today. Really missing you guys and hope you guys are all doing well. I guess for my testimony for camp that we had a couple days ago, there was a lot of things that God did and moved in my life throughout that camp. But I think there's like 3 main ones that really hit me hard. The first one was I came into camp not expecting me to like have a part in worship. I knew how to play guitar and sing and all that, but I just came into camp thinking, oh, I'm gonna get to spend more time with the Lord and hang out with my friends and stuff. But I think the Lord really pushed me in a way of worship throughout that camp, because I started helping lead worship, and then I kind of showed them one of my songs, and I guess he caught on pretty quickly, and he sang one of those. And then it was really cool to watch everybody else start making songs, and then we would sing them and worship the Lord with them. Yeah, it was just, that was a big joy to my heart to see just walking through with the Lord through worship. Second thing is that there was the sweetest and joyful and kindest girl named Aroma who just touched my heart throughout this camp, and it was just so cool to see that, like, her love for the Lord, her joy for the Lord, and all that. And I mean, she just was a great example of a child of the Lord, and so it was just really cool to see her brighten other people's week, and just to see what it looks like to be a child of the Lord. And then I think for my third and last thing was I got to see the Lord lead me and guide me through a path of how to be a shepherd. So I kept my mind pretty open throughout this trip, and just like letting the Lord guide me on what he wants me to do. And I already knew I was kind of like a sense of leadership to a lot of people, but the one day that we went on that really extreme hike next to camp, it was like no one really liked it, but I really enjoyed it, and it really touched my heart in a different way. And a friend called me out afterwards and just said how she felt like the Lord was moving me in the way of being a shepherd instead of just a leader, which was really cool to see and hear from her. And I think that's the last thing that just like, yeah, the Lord was trying to teach me. So hope you guys are all doing well, and have a blessed day.
Hi, I'm Maddie. It's probably hard to hear me because I'm outside right now, but a few things that I learned in Wyoming was to have patience with kids, because there was a little boy there, and he gave me lots of patience, because before I went to Wyoming, I was never easy on the kids I babysat, and now I got taught how to be more easy on them. And I also got taught that you don't need to be shy or ashamed of raising your hands when you're singing a song, because before I went to Wyoming, I was afraid of being the odd one out when I raised my hands, but that helped me a lot, and I learned how to trust a lot of people and open up more to more people. A lot of youth leaders helped me with that, with their testimonies, and I just want to thank all those youth leaders who helped me, and especially Abby. She is so kind, and Ashley too. They both helped me a lot, and thank you everybody for listening. I know my voice is really bad, but thank you, and that's all I learned. Bye.
Hello, Nigel Wattel here. I got asked to share what I learned this year, so this is what I learned. I learned more patience and to be more in the Word and just learn more about it. Like, not always wander, just read and then pray and just stick to the Word. Don't just not being afraid of what others think and stuff. I also learned that it is nice to just help others. Like, so much people were sick this year, so I decided to just be in the kitchen more and help Auntie C, who cooked for everyone. So I was like, I thought to myself many times that she cooks so much for everyone that she needs a break once in a while too. Like, the fact that she decides to be in there every day cooking for us is like, it's crazy to think. So I went in the kitchen lots to help because it's like, she does so much for us that it'll be nice to help. And it's just, yeah, I learned so much there. So much that I'm here to help others and just to worship and praise God. And that was the stuff I learned in Wyoming. Thank you for everything you guys did.
Hello everyone, my name's Kimberly. If you don't know me, I'm from Canada. I was given the opportunity to share what I learned, what God has shown me this year on my in my Wyoming trip, and I'm so excited. What God has shown me this year is that I can trust Him, and that even though it's easy to rely on other people for like security and stuff, I never had that security in other people, and I didn't realize that until I think it was the fourth last night in Wyoming. Because I'm usually very open about my feelings, about things, but I didn't realize how much I suppressed the hurt in me until I was talking with one of the leaders, and he revealed to me, well, Christ revealed to me through him, that I was still healing from a lot of pain that people had caused me. And I thought I wasn't. I thought I was all the way healed because I always told myself, God has a reason for this. God's in control. God's in control. And I didn't want to dwell too much on my pain because I know if I dwelled too much on it, it would become something that it just wouldn't become my focus, that God was controlling. God was healing me. My direction would look to my hurt, and I didn't want to focus on that. I wanted to focus on what God was healing me from. So, yeah, God just revealed to me that I'm healing, and also that He has answered my prayer that I've been praying for years. Because coming to Canada and going back to Hawaii could be a lot. Could be very lonely, I'm gonna say. Very lonely. I have been praying since I was 14, I'm 17 now, for people, a Christian fellowship that seeks God with all their heart and that wants to just do God's will. And I couldn't find that in Canada, so I was by myself for a long time. But God revealed to me how blessed I am to be in Maui, and how beautiful the fellowship at Calvary Chapel is, because I'm able to go there and talk to people about Jesus and be excited about it. I'm always excited about talking about Jesus, but like other people feed off the energy and want to talk about Him more. And it's like a stable fellowship. So I've been so blessed by God. He's really like blessed me in so many ways. And he just revealed to me that, like him, I brought you through this time so that you could seek me and honor me. And I, like when I was by myself, I seeked God, I honored God. Because if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have known God the way I do now. But yeah, he revealed to me how beautiful Calvary Chapel Fellowship is. And he answered my prayer with it because, yeah, I was by myself, and spiritually I wasn't, but friend zone-wise, church-wise I was, and God answered my prayer and brought me to Calvary Chapel. He's so good, guys. God is so good. So holy, so merciful. And he's got everything under control. And when we give our all to him, he's faithful, and we can trust him and rely on him. And I pray that all you guys know that. And that is what I learned when I was in Wyoming.
So we started the week thinking that we were going to do one thing, and then God changed all that. A lot of the conversations that we had came from finding a lot of loneliness. There's a lot of loneliness in the people around us. And then a lot of little lies that we believe. So a lot of the conversations that we got to talk with the kids about was like, why is there loneliness? And, you know, with Kimmy, there's loneliness. And we don't even really know we hold it sometimes because we find so many things around us to distract us, and then we're alone with ourselves. And it's hard to be alone with God sometimes because we're not okay being alone with ourselves. And we got to talk about, so we like finding that out, and then knowing that God is so good and so true and loves us so much to bring him more into that conversation and worry less about our loneliness. He just kept showing up. And then there's all these little lies that we believe. Somebody might have told us that we're ugly, or we're not smart, or that we don't matter, or you're just young, what could you do? And those little lies that either our parents have told us, or friends have told us, or people have told us, we bury those deep in our heart, and sometimes we plant those in our souls, and then they grow, and then you forget that somebody planted that in there, and it's this lie that you believe that it's not true. So we got to spend a lot of time talking about that God is bigger than those lies, that he is consistent, and he's loving, and he is who he says he is. He's not who I say he is. He's not going to meet all of the things I ask him. He's going to do what he said he's going to do, and he's faithful to do it. So we got to watch God just show up in his consistency of who he was. So I encourage you, these students have a lot to share. There's a lot going on in their lives. They are pouring into their communities. They are loving the people around them. You didn't get to see Grace, but Grace is a girl that we meet every year in Wyoming. She came the first year. Dave and Kendra invited her and her family to come and just be part of our youth trip. And she calls this her church family now. And I got to watch her as one of the students was leading the song, and she like kind of lost it. And she's like, oh, where am I going? And nobody else knew the song. So we were like, oh, well, I guess we're not just going to hear it. But Grace steps in, and she fully brings it up and comes alongside her and puts her arm around her and starts singing it loud. And it's like, that is what God does in our life. We see these things that God's called us to, and then we're like, oh, I can't do it. And then God's like, well, watch this. And he does it, and it's amazing and like miracles. So these are just some of the little things that we got to be a part of as leaders that we're just blowing our minds day after day after day. And just so you know, this isn't like a youth trip thing. So we don't see this as like a big mountaintop for us. Like, this is just another thing that we do. When we're with your students, we're talking about Jesus. When they're out with other people, they're talking about Jesus. They're sharing Jesus with the world, whether we're in Wyoming or we're down at Prince or they're at school. And the hearts of these students that God has just poured like himself into, and these kids are just grabbing onto it, they're changing the world. So just watch. I mean, they are not stopping. They push harder and they push harder and they push harder. We get on the plane to come home, right? And we barely make it. Like, literally, Ciara's standing in the jetway, talking to the ladies. No, they're still coming, right? And we're trying to get through. You guys ever been to Denver Airport? Don't go. It's miserable. Okay, so you get there, you hop on the train, and then we're like, okay, if you get through TSA, you and your team, you just get on that train and you go to the gate, right? So, you know, there's just teams coming slowly, and Ciara's texting me. She's like, are you here yet? I'm like, I'm in the back. I'll be there. So she's like basically holding it open. We get there, and we're like, we're done, right? We finally all get on the plane. Nate and Kirsten make it even. Running through with Ollie on the front, just running through the airport. We make it. We sit down. Elena hands me her book because I'm sitting behind her, and she's like, can you sign this or can you write a note in it? I'm like, okay, yeah, I have nothing else to do. We're on a plane. What could possibly happen? She hands me the book, and I open it up, and then we hear, doo-doo-doo-doo. Hey, this plane can't take off. So here we go. We are on a D plane. I'm like, I thought we were done. So we get off, and there was not one person complaining. They're like, another hour at the airport? Let's do this. I'm like, okay, no, thank you. I'm like crying on the inside. Deep inside. But from the very beginning of we don't have a ticket for one of the students to the very end of are we spending another night here in Colorado? I guess we can do this. And God was just faithful, showing us that, hey, it's not your trip that you're going on. It's not the thing that you planned. It's what I'm doing. And I'm doing the big circumstances that are going on, and I'm doing the big things in the hearts of the students, and I'm doing the little things as well. And we just got to watch that all the way through. So if you have any questions, talk to any of the students. They should be wearing these shirts, and if they're not, just ask them. And if they didn't go, that's fine too. You can ask them questions. We had a couple one song, question mark? Yeah. So real quick, so we didn't know they were going to be writing songs. We didn't know any of this. And then Riley is the master of writing songs. So he's like encouraging everybody to write them, and so good. Just the whole time, so good. So there is going to be an album. Yeah. So Riley's doing a bunch of recordings. I think how many songs are there?
I think.
What's an album?
There were some songs that like kids were writing or working on like beforehand, but I think altogether probably like 11.
Sweet. So, if you haven't seen them before, Riley has been recording with our students, and he puts it on Spotify, so you can just look for it. It's really cool. Most of them or a lot of them are songs they wrote. Not all of them, but they're amazing. And it's just a little bit of what God's doing in their hearts coming out. So, do you want this mic so I don't have to talk anymore? All right.
So, as a lot of you know, like about a year ago, I broke my leg, and it was kind of just like a really long journey. So we were in Wyoming writing songs, and I thought, hey, writing a song seems kind of fun, right? And then God kind of just poured like all these lyrics out, and so I knew it was Him writing the song through me. And the song is kind of just about like when He was literally the last thing I was thinking about, I was the first thing on His mind, and that He loves me enough to heal me. So this is my song.
Also, we wrote a lot of it in the back of a van driving down the road.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
He's my healer, my
pray. Sorry, we went a little over, but hey, it's Jesus. So, anyways, it was like so fun getting to hang out with all y'all's kids. I mean, like Mike says, like these kids are gonna change the world. Talk about them at work a lot. Talk about them like just in life in general. It's just so cool to see God really, a lot of them making their faith their own. I think that was a big theme, and just kind of like tearing down lies and recognizing those things and just coming to the truth of who God is. And yeah, there was a couple days where people just writing songs all over the place. We're like, what the heck is going on? It was awesome. Anyways, we're going to record all them and have a camp album. Like, who has that? Like, that's awesome. What a way to remember camp. So anyways, super awesome. Just keep encouraging each other, keep encouraging one another. Jesus is on the move as usual, and we just got to see a little bit of that at camp. So, yeah, let's pray. Jesus, thank you so much that you are our healer and our redeemer, that you are our God. Thank you for all the things that you're doing, and we just thank you so much that we can just humbly come before you and learn from you, sit under you, Lord, and just be in your presence. And God, you're so worthy of being praised and so worthy of being worshipped, and we just thank you so much that we can do all those things and that we can reflect you in this life, and help us to sharpen each other, Lord, like iron sharpens iron, and to lift each other up when we're feeling down and when things are getting tough. Lord, help us to just remind each other of who you are above all other things. Just give this night to you. Amen. All right.
Meeting we had, you're showing off your phone.